We have so many options. I'm interested in the nose ring theory. Why does all the liberals have nose rings, bruh? Should we watch that one next? You guys want to watch the Dadvocate? Watch there be like some sort of nerve in the nose where if you pierce it, all your common sense goes out the window. Your septum is where all your common sense is. As soon as you pierce that, you're fucked. Fuck it, now I'm interested. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch the nose ring theory.
Guys.
We'll do a poll for the next one, but I'm interested in this.
I've got a fun one for you today that I think you're gonna find interesting.
Nose
ring theory. And I just know that when I say that, half of you are gonna be confused, and the other half of you somehow know exactly what I'm talking about, even if you've never heard of it before.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've been pointing this out forever. In almost every single one of my TikTok reaction videos, I point this out. They all have the nose ring. Every single one of them. All the bull ring nose ring. You're literally like being led around by the nose. Yeah, exactly. That's what it feels like, bro. You're just being led around. No will of your own. That's what that symbolizes to me.
I will explain everything I've learned about this theory, show you some examples, and then give you my 2 cents on this whole thing. So to take you on the journey that I went down to get here, I'll show you the video that I first saw that introduced me to this whole thing.
So I'm 24 years old, and I've been trying my hand at dating men, specifically, for probably about 5-6 years now.
You look like a demon. What the hell?
In a serious way. I'm single at the moment. My boyfriend and I just broke up recently, and I have probably dated about like 4 to 5 men, seriously. Keep running into the same issues every single time I date a man, and I've been trying to like really get to the root of what it is. And now I know what you're thinking. You probably have a type. I do not have a type. These men don't know each other. They're not friends. They're not from the same area. They don't look alike. I really do not have a type. The only thing that these men have in common is that they are men. I really have been reflecting a lot and trying to figure out what like the root of all these issues is. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect, but I'm not the reason that any of these relationships ended. One of the main issues that
press X to doubt.
I've come to recognize is that I don't think men are really socialized to know what it means to truly love someone, like love their partner and care for their partner. Obviously, I'm not saying this is all men, but I think it's just not normalized for them to like, I don't know, just like, I guess I don't know how to phrase it. What I'm saying, for example, is that every single one of these men individually has looked me in my eyes and told me that I am the love of their life, I'm the most important person in their life, that they would take a bullet for me, and every single one of them has treated me horribly, okay? I don't know about you, but when I tell somebody they're the love of my life and that they're the person I care about the most, I show it. I'm treating them accordingly. Part of it that really trips me up is that they believe it. They actually believe in their heart that I'm the love of their life and I'm the person they care about the most. I start calling it out. I would be like, you do not love me and you do not care about me. Like point blank period. Otherwise you wouldn't be treating me badly. And they will argue and they get genuinely like offended. They get
What do you mean by treating you badly? Are they not holding the door open for you? Are they not opening your car door? Does that mean you're treating you, or are they punching you in the face? Which end of the spectrum is it? You know, what do you mean? What do you mean when you say treating bad? You're not giving any specifics.
Offended. I honestly pity them because I don't think they're socialized to know what that means, and like I don't know how to get it across in a meaningful way to them. Like they just don't listen. And I'll be like, okay, you wouldn't have done this bad thing to me if you actually loved me in the way that you say you do. Like,
she could be talking about like one of their personality traits or any typical thing that a man does just because he's a man, and you know, men do things. Like she could be talking about something that he can't control. Like she's being vague. She's being too vague. My 2-year-old daughter's enjoying your stream. Well, hello. I'm happy and I can entertain your kids.
Like that is not what love is. That's not what love is. When you love someone, you don't do things to intentionally or even unintentionally hurt them. Why is that considered love to you? I'm just like, I don't know where it's coming from. I honestly pity them because that has to be awful, but like I can't handle it anymore, dude.
So in this video, this girl is
about?
describing her troubles with finding a good man. She insists that she doesn't have a type, that none of these men really have anything in common, but for some reason, in the end, they always end up treating her horribly. And this led many in the comments to speculate that it must be something about her that is the common denominator. And unfortunately, since it's such a short TikTok video and we don't really get much insight onto greater parts of her personality, and she's not very open about what her most major flaws are to figure out why she's attracting such mean men or why her relationships are always driven to turmoil, people began to theorize, because it's one of the most noticeable things about her, that it could potentially have to do with the amount of piercings she has. In fact, these two comments right next...
What? I mean, yeah. I don't know. If she had offered some specifics, I mean, it'd be easier to gauge if whether or not she was talking out of her ass. But yeah, the fact that she's being so vague kind of leads us to believe that she might be the problem. Does she have issues and that's why she got the piercings? Or did the issues come with the piercings? I don't know. Which came first? It's like the chicken and the egg question.
Next to each other say, the piercing theory is so true, with over 700 likes. And again, don't know, don't care, nose ring theory, with over 1,200 likes. So you might be wondering, like I did, what about having a bunch of metal in your face would cause someone to treat you poorly? I mean,
that's actually a pretty good... Okay, yeah, now I'm interested in this. I thought we were just going to see a bunch of TikToks talking about women and their issues. But I guess... yeah, we're actually going to dive deep into nose ring theory. Let's go. Okay, I'm actually hyped. I want to hear about what's going on with the nose rings. I'm interested.
I mean, sure, the style isn't everyone's type, but these men were clearly attracted enough to her to date her, so then what is it that's causing the relationships to not go well? So I decided to look into what these men were referencing when they talked about the piercing theory or the nose ring theory. And this was the top video I found.
Have y'all ever heard of the septum piercing theory? If you have a septum piercing, you may not want to look it up, but I'm always the last person to hear about shit. So this is common knowledge. It's dead ass. It's actually dead ass. Because it says that every person that has a septum piercing makes their trauma their entire personality.
Bro. Oh, we live in a simulation. This gotta be it, bro. We live in a simulation. That's a fucking... everybody's... they're all a hive mind, dude. They all have the same shit. Bro. Dude, fucking... Yes. Fucking facts. I believe that shit 100%.
And she agrees? It's dead ass.
Like I said, dead ass.
Damn, straight from the horse's mouth. Or maybe I should say straight from the bull's mouth. You know, because the nose ring is saying it's true. I mean, there's gotta be something there. And this is just even more hilarious when we take that theory and then reference back to the first video where the girl was making her relationship trauma her entire personality. Okay, that might have been a little reductive. After all, it was just one...
I mean, she was being very vague.
...video. Surely her entire profile isn't like that.
Yo, you guys never told me how cool it is to have a dad. Like, this is a secret that's been kept...
This is the same lady.
...kept from me, okay? I grew up with 3 moms. My mommy issues are off the charts.
Okay, sure. I mean, so maybe she doesn't have a dad and has a ton of self-proclaimed mommy issues, but that doesn't mean trauma's her entire personality.
I have psoriasis.
Bro. It is. It's her entire personality. Oh my god. You guys passing a bowl in the chat? That's what's up, dude. You guys gotta smoke. I want you as high as the chat on my screen.
Not like a little psoriasis, like all over my entire body. When I tell you, my whole body looks like this.
Okay, so she has a bit of medical trauma too, but I mean, there's more to her.
Nothing normal can ever happen to me. I think I attract chaos.
Okay, so attracting chaos, it might be a little red flag, but I mean, there's gotta be something normal here.
Okay, you're on the 5th TikTok. If it doesn't change at this point, it's not changing. She 100% it made trauma her entire personality. And yeah, she might be the problem. The reason why she can't find a good guy.
Not to be a man-hater or anything, Actually, no, fully to be a man-hater. Fully to be a man-hater.
Oh, okay, I guess she also just doesn't like men. I mean, you could have brought that up when you were theorizing on why your relationships with men might be going poorly.
Sounds like the fucking comments were right, bro. Sounds like she's the problem. So everything she posted, she's a victim. Yup. This is the fifth one. The fifth different TikTok where she made being a victim her entire personality. She's not helping herself with these vids. Yeah, exactly, bro.
I'm starting to connect the dots. Now, when I first started looking into nose ring theory, I didn't think that I would take it seriously at all. I thought it would just be a good laugh. But the more I looked into
right, it sounds like just a little coincidence, bro. But if it actually has some weight to it, dude, yep, simulation confirmed. We're all in a simulation. Simulation theory confirmed. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
Into it, the more I think that it might actually hold some weight, because I did find quite a number of studies that have strong correlations between individuals with a lot of piercings and tattoos and how they are perceived and who they attract.
Oh shit, I do have the shoe on my head still. I gotta take that off of my head. I gotta take the shoe off my head. You're not shoe on head, you're the Dadvocate.
This study seems to indicate that people with piercings and tattoos score significantly higher than those without for sensation-seeking and risk-taking behaviors. This other study that I found seems to indicate that people with piercings and tattoos, specifically women, scored significantly higher for extroversion and assertiveness, meaning they are more aggressive socially. This study that I found in Psychology Today examines how people with tattoos and piercings are perceived, and the most popular finding was that they are perceived to be more sexually promiscuous, and that they tend to attract people who are looking for more casual relationships than serious ones. And many
baseball, huh?
Many other studies seem to point to people with piercings and tattoos having higher correlations with impulsivity and more experience with trauma and adversity. This study from BMC Psychology seemed to find a strong correlation between body modifications and people who experienced childhood abuse and neglect. And this one really stood out to me. This one found a notable prevalence of individuals with a high number of body modifications and borderline personality disorder. Now,
yep, that tracks. That checks out, bro.
But this is not to say that individuals with piercings and tattoos are all degenerate problem children undeserving of love.
Everyone with a tattoo is a problem child.
I myself have a belly button piercing and an entire side piece, and I find myself to be pretty well adjusted and have had a lot of success in my relationships. But it does beg the question, could there be any legitimacy to the nose ring theory, or is it mostly just something that jerks shout at people they disagree with online when they happen to have a nose ring? My ultimate conclusion? Probably both.
There's a large number of people who just coincidentally have this nose ring. Surely there's gotta be some truth to it.
Obviously, even with all of these studies and research papers, you're never going to be able to make a correct, sweeping blanket generalization about every one kind of person who looks a certain way. In the case of the first video we watched, where the girl is describing her issues with relationships with men, we know that people did at least initially find her very attractive, as she even cites at the end of the video that I cut off that both men and women have described completely falling in love with her. And when I first listened to her story, I wasn't even making any judgments about her physical appearance. I was truly waiting for the other shoe to drop of when she was going to describe some consistent patterns of behavior that might lead to all of this correlation. In her case, I definitely think that being a vocal man-hater was probably the linchpin in the disruption in her relationships with men, but certainly not.
That could definitely play a role. That would make the relationship not really as fun if you were just, hating me the whole time.
Not all women with piercings and tattoos feel that way. In fact, here are some examples of super pierced and tattooed girls in very happy relationships with men.
Yeah, it seems like what Raven said. The one of those all rectangles are squares, but not all squares are rectangles kind of thing. Oh, that's cute.
What is this? Resist, please.
Also, it's so funny how they always go for the nerdy gamer guys. But this is what makes the
nerdy gamer guys for the win, bro.
nose ring theory so complex, because if the first video were to be enough to prove that it's accurate, then all of these other videos should be enough to disprove it, right? At the end of the day, the nose ring theory is just that. A theory, an idea worth discussing. Is it true that people with a lot of tattoos and piercings tend to be a bit more rebellious, chaotic, and traumatized? Yeah, probably, but does it make them inherently undateable? No. Some of them are. Some of them are absolutely undateable, but not all of them. As with most things, it's a case-by-case scenario, and it's always more important to pay attention to how a person behaves or what they believe in than it is to try and find secret clues in how they look or dress. Anyway, that has been my analysis on nose ring theory.
That's a pretty good analysis on the nose ring theory. Yeah, it is weird though. A strange number of liberals have the nose ring, bruh. You get that? We can't deny that fact. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of this video, I think.
If you liked my coverage, please drop a...
Yeah, now she's doing her call to action. That was the Dadvocate. If you guys like the Dadvocate, I'll drop the link. I gotta go back to the... Let me drop the link. Where's my music?